Sack Life, Beat Depression, Stage 765, and we're staying alive with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody who's tuning in not so live, because today it seems like we're having technical difficulties on all social platforms. So, it is a positive Monday, something. So today I am positive about the fact that we are all united in our struggle across all these platforms. Everybody's having issues. So we can bond over our technical dysfunctionality and get in another round of progress and success together. Even if it's not live, we'll be able to catch up with each other in the comment section on this Sack Life Daily broadcast. So that being said, I want to shout out gratitude as well to everybody. We always start every show with that powerful mental health tool, gratitude. I want to shout out gratitude to everybody who's tuning in later and catching the show. Everybody who's shown up for themselves and shown up for others in that comment section, sharing your experience with one another. Today is a Monday, so standard rounds. We're going to be doing 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks to catch your breath and drink some water. We'll be practicing some fundamentals, that jab, the cross. We'll toss some hooks in there today. We'll talk about the mechanics behind those hooks. But before we do, go ahead and think about your piece of gratitude for today. And the second mental health tool we're going to talk about is, as always, that progress tracking tool. Keeping track of the number of days you show up for yourself can have a cumulative effect, building up self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-validation, which is something that not even depression can take away from us. So please do keep track of your daily progress. If you're training with us on the show, keep track of the number of days that you accomplish that goal. Whether it's 1 minute of training or the full 10 or the full 30, depending on the day, no matter what, every single minute counts. Every single step forward counts. That each step is a proof, physical proof, that you are stronger than those debilitating effects of depression. And we don't have to overwork every day. We don't have to work super hard. We just have to give ourselves a challenge. As long as we can give ourselves a challenge and show up, meet that challenge, and crush that challenge, then that is going to mean success. It's going to mean progress. And we can keep track of that progress and success with that number. So please do keep track of that number. I don't know what it's doing for you. I hope it's having the same effects it's had on me. It's been 765 days since I've had any suicidal ideation. And it's been 765 days since I've overcome the clinical side of depression, meaning the debilitation. 765 days, 0 days of debilitation, 0 days of suicidal ideation. And I know a lot of people have reported the same thing out there. Some of them have reported that it's helped them overcome PTSD, and others have reported it's helped them just start on something that they've been putting off for a long time. Just showing that powerful number tool and give you the confidence, the self-esteem to get out there and start moving forwards, making that progress. Make that progress your success. Show up for the process, get it out, put in the work, and we can keep growing together. That being said, we're going to do our standard rounds. So try and keep it short and concise because this is no longer live streamed. It's going to take up a whole lot of data on the phone. So we're going to get right into the session. Remember, this is a martial arts for mental health class, so when we visualize our target, you want to assign that target the name of the thing you're working on. If it's anxiety or depression, you want to visualize that dummy and make them the depression dummy or the anxiety dummy. That way we can knock those lies out that those things try to sell us. Lies like we can't show up today or we can't move forward, we can't get out of bed. These are all things that tend to pop up when you're dealing with depression. So this is our proof that we can overcome those things. Visualize that opponent. Assign him the name, depression dummy. And when we toss those jabs and crosses, make sure you're turning that fist over and making contact with that visualized target. Landing on the large 2 knuckles, squeezing the thumb at the point of impact, coming back to guard after each one. We're going to have some fighting spirit from the 80s coming through that sweet retro synth boombox, and we're going to get right into it. So once again, thank you everybody who's tuning in later. Appreciate you out there. Let's do this thing. We're working today from Muay Thai stance. And if you're not familiar with it, stance guides are up on that main page at sacklifeofficial.com. Bottom of the martial arts for mental health class page, you'll find a stance guide on how to be prepared for every class that we do out there. So starting in Muay Thai position, we're going to get this timer going. We're going to start with that jab and cross. Using the breath to aid in power and also stress relief. Go ahead and bring the guard up high and start shifting that weight from the front foot to the back foot in Muay Thai stance. As we step in for the number one jab, twist through those shoulders and hips, sending that fist forwards, and then giving it a little powerful breath out the mouth with each strike. Deep inhale back through the nose, and let's toss the cross. One jab, one cross. Rotating through, keeping the head on the center line and the guard nice and high. From your balanced stance, remember to step, very small step forwards on that front foot as you twist through for the jab, and then rotate through on the ball of the back foot. Wuss, as you toss that cross forward. Back to stance, guard high by the brow line. Tuck that chin and let's go. Toss those fists. Visualize that target. And visualize doing damage to that depression dummy's face. Remember, we are knocking out those lies and we are fighting for a better quality of life. Let's go. How do we know we deserve that better quality of life? It's based on what we give, so give it 100%. You can moderate the intensity behind those punches. You can moderate the volume of those punches. You can moderate the speed. These are all different ways that you can give yourself a challenge out here, and that's all we need to do to see that growth. You can't grow in that comfort zone, so make sure you're giving yourself a challenge and tossing those fists. Let's go. Exhale hard. Sink on the knees a little bit. Aids in rotation. Keeping the heels slightly raised off the ground will also aid in rotation and let you pivot on the ball of each foot. Keep those hands going. And inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Let's keep it moving. We're going to start adding in the cross. So we're going to step into the one, rotate for the two, and from here, we're going to toss a hook. So we're going to toss that rear hand up into a body cast at 90 degrees, locking the elbow in at 90, and we're going to rotate around, boom. As we come back to our balanced stance, we're just rotating our body around, letting that body do the work, right? Building up speed and driving that hook into the face of that visualized target. Back to stance. Let's hit them with the 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Now we're going to 1-2 and then hook. 1-2. Toss the arm up on the horizontal plane. Locking the elbow in at 90. Rotate around. Bang. Twisting that body. Bam. Hit him with the hook and back to stance. 1-2 hook. Let's go. 1-2 hook. Boom. Exhale through. And back. And back. And back. Keep it going. Remember to turn that body, twisting the shoulders through on each strike. It's going to add power into that next strike and set you up to deliver those devastating blows to that depression dummy. Keep it moving. 1-2. 1-2. Guard high. 1-2. 1-2 hook. And that's the end of round one. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Check in on you. Make sure you're not pushing too hard. You want to avoid those signs of overreaching like nauseousness in the stomach, lightheadedness, dizziness, seeing spots. All of those things are going to mean we want to take that intensity level back a little bit. If you got water, now's a good time to drink it. Make sure you're staying hydrated out there. It's also very important. And remember, you're here to compete with yourself. You're here to show up for yourself and push to your skill level. So you don't have to go at the same pace as me. You can moderate that pace, moderate the volume of punches, the speed of punches, effort behind them, and just give yourself that challenge. That's what it's all about. We got 13 seconds. We're going to pop into the next session. We're going to talk about the rear hook on this one. So we've got about 6 seconds going. Pop back into your Muay Thai stance. Square up with that depression dummy. Visualize the target. Tuck chin. Curl the hips. Roll those shoulders up. Guard high. It's Muay Thai. Based off Muay Thai position. Step in for the 1-2. 1-2. Rotate back to stance. Step in for the 1. And right off the jab, we're going to twist through with that rear hook. Why off the jab? Because it preloads that rear hook. We're twisting through the shoulders and hips. That's going to rewind this rear hook for a nice devastating, boom, powerful blow. So it's going to be the same thing. We're throwing that arm up horizontal plane, locking that elbow in 90 degrees, palms facing in towards us. And we're rotating through on the ball of that rear foot to drive that hook around, boom, into the face of that depression dummy. Let's do it. Step in for the jab, toss that hook, boom, nice and wide. Step in for the jab, boom, guard is up, toss that hook through, and back to stance. Jab, hook, back to stance. Remember to square the hips and shoulders after each successful combo, after each successful strike, and keep that guard high by the brow line. Keep it moving. Let's go. 1, 2. 1 hook, 1 hook, boom. Back to stance. 1, 2 hook. 1, 2. Now the hook's going to come from the opposite side. Boom. Right there. So 1 hook is going to be 1 hook like that. Back to stance. 1, 2 hook. 1, 2 hook. And back to stance. Keep the guard high. Keep it moving. Squared hips, squared shoulders. And rotate through those punches. You'll notice the jab cross is pretty much the same movement we're going to use. Boom. Boom is the same movement we're using when we toss those hooks. More pivot on that front foot for the hook since it is a round. A little less on the step that we use for the jab. So let's toss the jab cross first. Stepping into the jab, straight forward, small step, boom. Plant the jab, rotate through for the cross. Ball of the rear foot turns, keeping the guard high. From here we're going to toss this hook, this what is now our rear hook. We're going to pivot on that front foot. Whoosh, boom. Pivot on that front foot. Now let's toss the rear hook. Bring this one back to guard. Rear hook goes up, locking that elbow in at 90 degrees. We're going to pivot on the rear foot. Whoosh, and drive that rear hook around back to stance. Guard high, hit him with the 1, 2. Now double hook, twist, twist, boom. Back to stance. If we're starting with hooks, we want to give that a little pre-wind. Get the guard up high on that, what is the rear hand, pre-wind in the lead shoulder, and toss that lead hook. Whoosh, boom, back to stance. Sink on a little bit, and then rise up, boom, for even more power in that hook. Same can be done for the rear hook if we're just tossing one. Pre-wind in with the guard, sink a little bit, and then whoosh, stand up tall, pushing up on those knees, standing up straight, and driving that fist right through the face of that depression dummy. We got 58 seconds. It's time again to catch your breath, drink some water, check in on you. Make sure you're giving yourself a challenge for the day and meeting yourself at that level. It's important to remember too, to show up for yourself in the moment. What we did yesterday doesn't matter. What we did, what we're going to do tomorrow doesn't matter. It's not about the past or the future. It's about the present moment. We're capable and powerful of showing up and moving forward. So if you were out late last night or you had some alcohol in your system, these things are going to affect your progress. They're going to affect your output. You might not be as fast. You might not be able to put as much volume out today. It doesn't matter. As long as you're giving yourself a challenge and meeting that challenge, consistency will give you those results. And overall, you'll be able to see that continued growth. So we've got 7 seconds. We're going to pop back into it. We're mixing all those tools around that we just used. Jab, cross, those 2 hooks. We're going to throw them out there at random to keep ourselves on our toes. Back to stance. Muay Thai position here. Guard high. Toss the jab. Jab, cross. Jab, cross, hook. Now jab, hook. Boom. Now you should know at this point, especially you guys who've been here over 100 days, that each move, if we say jab, hook, we're talking about the lead jab and then bang, the rear hook. If we say jab, cross, hook, we're talking about now what was the lead hook. Boom. Each move feeds the next, right? Jab, cross, hook, jab, hook, double hook. If we do that, we're going to cover up. Whoosh, whoosh, and back to stance. Hit him with the 1, 2. Jab, cross. Jab, cross again. Boom, boom. Keep the guard high. Jab, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Back to stance. Jab, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Keep that guard high and back to stance. Rear hook this time. Boom. Lead hook this time. Boom. Rear hook. Lead hook. Jab, cross. Double jab. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Let's go. Jab, hook. Jab, cross. Cross, hook. Go. You got it. Cross, hook. And jab, cross. Jab, cross. Rear hook. Preload. Toss it. Rear hook. Preload. Toss it. Keep the guard high. Rear hook. Lead hook. Lead hook. Then rear hook. Let's go. Boom, back to stance. 1, 2, jab, cross, boom. Keep going, jab, cross. Jab, cross, challenge you to you, let's go. Show up for yourself and put in that work. You deserve what you give out here, so give it 100%. Let's go. Jab, cross. Jab, cross. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Cross, hook. Cross, hook. Cross, hook. Cross, hook. Double hook. Double hook. Double hook. Double hook. Double hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Jab, hook. Small step on that jab. Rotate for that hook. Keep it going. Jab, hook. Jab, cross, hook. And that's the end. Woo! It's the end of our 3 rounds of progress and success for the day. And if you showed up for you, put in that work, and met that challenge, then give yourself proper credit. Make sure you're giving yourself credit for moving forwards. It's very easy to slip into a victim mindset, especially when we're dealing with depression. And one of the ways that we can train that out is by giving ourselves proper credit and keeping track of the number of days that you show up and you crush that debilitation. We just did it today. Whether it was 1 minute or 10 minutes, does not matter. If you showed up for you and you accomplished that goal, give yourself credit for that goal. And until next time, I'll catch you guys and girls, same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Segment out.